Check, 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 check. I'm not gonna lie, Substack look aggravating that I have to do this every time. Alright, there we go. Alright, baby, we live. I'm gonna have to get in the zone real quick. And we will cut a podcast episode. Hopefully we can teach some MAGA how to read today. But if not, it's okay. We'll be fine. We'll cut a pod. Let's go. Let's get the feedback channels up real fast. All right. The hat does make it a little better. Gonna have to get me a clean cut. Not right now though. We'll just make it through the winter. All right. Not that 1080p, baby. All right. And we're going to probably cut this episode right now. I'm about to record. In 3, 2, 1. What is up, team? Welcome back to Headquarters. Your Antifa CEO here with, I don't know what's going on. It's December, Friday. We got war crimes. We got all kinds of things. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I'm a little bit out of it. You know, for those of you with the visual experience, I am in my pajamas, but I still threw on the suit jacket, still threw on the tie because I did not want to be disrespectful to you all. But I knew that I needed to come and cut the pod right now because, frankly, I was up all night on that night shift. On that night shift, as always, and my sleeping schedule is really screwed up right now. I knew that if I did not do it now, I wasn't going to do it. Just got back from dropping the kids off. I was going to sleep probably the whole day away again. And even though some days that's okay for mental health reasons, for all the things, you know, I just gotta stay consistent. So we'll get the content out early today. Then we'll take a nap, and then I'll wake up, get back at it for the afternoon. But you know, the biggest thing that I want to talk about today is two things. For starters, the war crimes. You know, look, I think it's very obvious that this country has a very rich history of these crimes, these types of offenses, especially using munitions of all sorts of innovative. You know, capitalism breeds innovation, you know, but we just seem to be getting all kinds of fancier munitions. But, you know, those being used on civilians, whoever. In this instance, we see it right now very publicly with the ones in the Caribbean. Very disgusting, absolutely disgusting, especially in this last one. Or it might have actually been the very first one, the one that they're talking about in Congress right now. Just the way that the Democrats who have been exposed or who have reviewed that material are describing it, that these people were clearly out of commission. And I don't think, look, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a simple chemist, okay? I don't think that people realize whenever this scenario is laid out that this is literally the scenario from the handbook to describe what is and is not a war crime. And one of the scenarios is a vessel on the water that has been disabled, and the people are they can no longer be a threat in no way, shape, or form. Just the judge, jury, and exy of this, the ability for your boy to just take out people who he's associating with, DeRuggers. It's allowing so much latitude, and these Republicans that are defending this and whatnot, it's absolutely disgusting. I don't care which side you're on. When it comes down to it, in the United States of America, people are brought into court on charges, and it is proved undoubtedly that they've done something, and that's the only way that they are given the sentence, a finality like that. The sentence of, that's. So I don't necessarily understand in the context of this administration doing that. But again, we have a rich history of this. What do we expect from a country who has been doing this in our name for so long? I think that's part of it, is that now that these things are happening so frequently and publicly, and especially in a time in which we're not in like an engagement, because especially in the engagements that we've had over the past 70 years, 80 years, we can go all the way back to WW2, with the way that we used munitions on citizens then, our country for the war effort. But this country has a rich history of doing these types of things, and I think part of it is that we're seeing it outside of a time of direct engagement in which the rules of engagement are being stretched to include different types of people to be engaged in different types of ways. But all that is doing is allowing the executive to, just wield every aspect of the government in single decisions, and that, regardless of what you think about the country's founding and the people with property and all these things, on a very fundamental level, that is the opposite of what this country was designed to be. The person in charge of this country is not supposed to just on a whim decide that someone can't be here anymore. I think that that on the most fundamental level, no matter what civics class you sat in, whether it was in a failed conservative state, whether it was in a beautiful blue state, depending on how good or bad your education was, they had to have in some way taught, especially all these MAGAs, they had to have taught them that the president cannot behave in this way. So like the ability for people to just like separate that, I don't know how, or I don't know where in their brains, I don't know how it's possible, but the ability to just like separate like facts from reality is just so crazy to me. Okay, MRE, are you a Trumper? Just let me know. Just let me know if you're a Trumper. You can go ahead and say MAGA in the chat or whatever if you're a Trumper. Just let me know. I'll ban you right now. I don't do that. I don't play that in my space. You regret your Trump vote? I hope you do, buddy. I hope you do. But when it comes down to it, it's very unfortunate. You probably regret it because maybe some things in your life are being affected. But, it is what it is. Some, especially when these red states, they don't realize they're getting gutted right now. Especially these red states with the agriculture. I mean, in all aspects, the healthcare, the education, everything that they're failing in, they're getting gutted, absolutely gutted, and it's disgusting. Um, that's why I just saw some liberal influencer, swiping through the lives. That's part of the reason I decided to get on, is because, I normally don't do this time. I'm usually sleeping. But, I realized that this is liberal hour, that there's so many liberal influencers on there making their money with their little profit motives and all these things. And one of them was sitting there saying, like, I don't have a problem with Republicans. I just have a problem with MAGA. And it's like, bro, it's 2025. What do you do? We're not distinguishing between them. If they voted for him in 2024, the third time, after J6, after all the things, like they're all the same. They're all the same. If they don't want to be associated with those people, then you don't be around those types of people. I mean, it's just that simple. When it comes to like these billionaires and stuff like that, I don't know. I don't want to be associated with the horrible things they do, like on those islands and whatnot. So I don't get on here and I don't simp for them. It's very obvious that when we allow people to get that much money, that things like Jeff's Island is going to happen. When we allow people to buy private islands and have private clubs and private jets and mega yachts and all this excessive waste, when we allow that to happen, what do we expect to happen to our children? What do we expect them to get taken away to some billionaire island? Like, it's very obvious that those disgusting psychopathic things happen because we allow disgusting psychopathic people to get all this power in our societies, and it makes no sense, realistically, especially when you look at, if we I don't want to get damned in the leftist community. All the little commies will be mad at me. They're gonna get upset and think, oh, you Democrats do. I don't do all the labels. But even if you look at the construction of our government right now, realistically, it actually doesn't make any sense that we have to deal with all the things that we deal with, because even in our elective government, like, it's very clear that we can like vote for the people, and those people like have to do the things. It's just that there's some weird collusion right now between people with a lot of money and poor people who think that one day maybe they will get a lot of money. And it's that somehow is keeping everybody under the guise, the illusion that things are working. I don't know. But it's very obvious that things are not. Things are not working. Just because the stock market goes up doesn't mean that people's lives are getting better, especially right now when so much money is going to the top few corporations. We look in the headlines of the stock news today. One of the biggest headlines is that Netflix is in exclusive agreements to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, Warner Brothers was a separate company and Discovery was a separate company, and a few years ago they merged and some jobs were trimmed and all these things, efficiency, market efficiencies. And now Netflix is going to acquire this merged company, and we're going to get one less streaming service, or maybe even worse, they keep the other streaming service up and like charges double money because now they got two services. Absolutely disgusting. But it's very clear that we're losing competition in the market. Who is going to be better from this? Not a single consumer, not a single person. There's going to be jobs cut for market efficiency. Why does everything have to be so damn efficient? That's what's so aggravating about this, is that people's lives are literally destroyed because we have some mythical concept that everything just has to be so efficient. I don't understand. I don't know where we've gotten off the rails with this. I think especially when it comes down to humanity, things are pretty simple. We need food, we need water. Now we have this crazy thing called healthcare that we have access to. So since we've come up with that, we should get access to that as well. And we need shelter. Being a human is very simple. All this efficiency and all these things, like, obviously the system is not efficient. When we're throwing away 60% of our food, it's not efficient. Whenever we are having empty houses sitting on billionaire balance sheets while people are starving in the streets. That is not an efficient system. But then again, when you look at it, and the system can put you in prison for profits, and shareholders can reap benefits from you being locked up in a jail, maybe the system is working efficiently. It's just not working for the working class people. It's working for the billionaires, and we see it on the earnings call. We see it in the profits. We see it time and time again, because all they do is brag as their situation is getting better. It's going infinitely up and to the right. But for everyone else, everyone who actually works in this economy, their situation is getting substantially worse. With that being said, we got to figure it out, We got to put the energy in the right places. We got to get the motion. I think we're doing that. I think a lot of things are coming together, and you can't see everything, but the things that you can see, I mean, I would be reasonably satisfied just with the results that we're able to provide to you with the 8 million sick left radicals in the network that we've put together already, with the amazing team that we're putting together, with all of the content that we're getting out. I think y'all are seeing it, because I'm somewhat seeing it in the numbers, I can't talk to every one of y'all. This is part of me trying to do that. But we talk to each other in the numbers. You tell me what you like. You tell me what you don't like. And I see that right now, y'all like it, because the algorithm is not recommending me in any way, shape, or form nearly as it used to. But what I'm seeing is a lot of organic shares. I'm seeing a lot of cross-platform shares and things like that. And those types of things is how we beat the algorithm. Just staying focused on that working class solidarity and that mission. Like I said, I wanted to make sure to do the pod today, because I'm going to have to go take a nap after. I'm definitely exhausted. What's up? What time you get off today?
Do you go to work today?
No.
I got like fucking 3 o'clock or something. I don't know. I have to get out of here. That's the whole point.
Okay. Well, I'll see you later.
What do you want?
Nothing. There's nothing. Bye.
Text me about it. Don't ask me when I'm working.
Okay. Yeah. Let's check the headlines while we're at it. Like I said, the in the news most recently, Netflix and Warner Brothers, $83 billion deal. Absolutely insane. No one is going to benefit from this. Like, these market efficiencies does not benefit anybody. If anybody wants to come chat too, we can take you. I don't know how long we're going to do this today, because like I said, I'm very exhausted and I am going to need to go to sleep. It's already 9:30. I've been up all night. I mean, I was just on live. Actually, I don't even know, man. My days are so just into each other. And I have a lot of chores to do around the house, so I'm going to have to just make sure to not screw around too long today. For people on the audio experience, it's Friday. We're relaxing. We're still pushing the working class solidarity. We're still fighting. Like I said, I needed to do this now because I had to get a counseling session in today. So that's going to be at my regular scheduled time. But you keep taking it out.
No, I don't know where the white one is. I've been having to take this one in and out of my car because you took the white one.
Okay. I don't have it, though. I don't have it, so yeah. Sorry about that. It's cool. I'm not even going to edit it out either, because frankly, it is what it is. My wife just waking up at the last minute, running out the house. She always grumpy. It'd be like that, though. Not everybody's morning people. Honestly, I'm not really even a morning person. I wouldn't even consider this to be morning for me. This is somewhat the night. That's why I'm on here. Is my sleep schedule is just so absolutely stretched right now, because of nights. It's like I can't even go to sleep at appropriate times and stuff like that. But it is what it is. We're gonna, I don't know. I'm doing what I can to try to take care of myself. I'm not eating as good as I should, and I definitely am not drinking as much water as I should, but I'm trying, I'm trying. It takes a lot of energy to sustain all this, and especially at the level that we've been pumping, and all of the networking, all of the things that it takes behind the scenes. Just insight, just vulnerability. Because what's the point of lying to y'all? I know that I have to be strong. I know that as the CEO, as the face, we got to make sure that we are, always looking tip top. But, most of the time, we're talking to y'all. We cut the propaganda. We put it out there. We dunk on the maggots. We do all the things. But most of the time, we're talking straight to core radicals because why else would I want to spend my time any other way? I don't want to sit on here and talk for hours to MAGAs. That doesn't really make any sense to me. I can radicalize them, sure. But, I'm not going to sit here and platform all kinds of crazy people to let them spit out their, poorly taken in propaganda points. They can just listen to my propaganda points. Frankly, we have better propaganda points. We got the best propaganda at the Propaganda Factory. And I'm very excited about all the things we have going on with that right now. With that, let's get right into some of the major things. The Reddit, we just got a new Reddit group. That's RMTCSTW. We are up in the Discord. I believe that the Discord right now is at I can't see the total. I can't see the total because I'm on my computer and I'm hella unk, so I don't know how to necessarily work this as much because I just started using Discord, but I really like it. But we're up to 150 almost. We're going to get 150 today. I'm going to make it a point to cross 150 today for sure. Thank you for that follow, Demian. Welcome home, buddy. Welcome home. And we've been getting a lot of follows from the streaming and whatnot. I'm definitely exhausted, though. Our MTCSTW on Reddit. So it's, it's my name, just, r/ because that's like the Reddit thing or whatever. And then my name, MTCSTW, which you can get into the Discord, and all of those things are there for you. My goal is to get the Discord to 1,000 members as fast as possible, because once we have that, then we'll pretty much be critical mass, and we'll be able to start spreading things pretty regularly, everywhere. And then once we can get the Reddit page to about 1,000, we'll be able to do the same thing. Because whenever you have highly engaged, active communities, you'll be able to, what we call super spread, especially in the game, in the propaganda game. Because that's what we're doing, is we're making it as easy as possible to become propaganda super spreaders for everybody. Everybody in the everybody that wants to participate. I mean, we're making it as easy as just pushing a like, follow, comment, share, and you are super spreading propaganda. And we're making sure to have enough content in every facet to be able to bring in everyone from every level. We get a lot of liberals. It's cool. It is what it is. Thank you for that follow. Welcome home. We get a lot of liberals. It is what it is. But we're making sure to have our cross-pollinators to be able, our true core radicals in there to catch people as they're coming in. Because, when it comes down to it, we have to understand the root cause of why we are all suffering, why we are all struggling. And one of the main reasons of that is, the inherent system that we're building our lives around. It's just so fundamentally flawed. We see that when we allow so much excess to flow to these billionaires, because every $1 billion, that one of these people has is 1,000 millionaires that were not able to be created. And I don't care how you do the math, but it's very obvious that if we had 1,000 more millionaires and one less billionaire, that would be substantially better. Or if we get into, having $100,000, how many people could we give $100,000 to, out of $1 billion? Is it like 10,000? I don't know. My brain is mush. My math ain't always crisp. I'm just a simple chemist. Don't hold me to it. All right. But when it comes down to it, obviously the system is flawed. So we're doing all of the things that we're supposed to do. Especially as your CEO, I'm always focused on our three main objectives: recruitment, revenue, and retention, but I'm not going to lie, Antifa ain't got the problems that all these other companies have with retention, because once you're in, you're in. Once you swear your oath, there's no getting out, especially in the eyes of the United States government. But it is what it is. No problem, Beezy. We're here fighting every day for the working class people, doing whatever we can, putting out this propaganda. Honestly, it's fun. That's why I have the energy to do it right now. Should be sleeping, but we got the energy to keep pushing. So we will push. Thank you so much for getting 10K likes on the TikTok stream. We are live on 7 platforms, by the way, and that is brought to you by Liquidate the Billionaires. That's right, Liquidate the Billionaires, with the ambitious goal to turn every mega yacht into a coral reef. If that's something that you can get behind, please tap in with Team Liquidate today on all platforms. You can tap in with me, MTC STW, on all platforms. The Propaganda Factory, especially for this audio experience. Also, we want to make sure to plug Veau Noir. That's VOIXNOIRE.com. They're doing a sponsor family drive this Christmas season. So if you like to sponsor a family, please tap in with Veau Noir. That's VOIXNOIRE.com. Also want to give a huge shout out to Make America Vaccinated Again. Big dubs, Dr. Greg, putting that political action into motion. Can't wait to throw some more weight behind that. Can't wait to start making some hot content for that. Because I know that, anytime that we can get behind good people doing good things, it's something that I believe in strongly. That's really what this is all about. The Propaganda Factory is all about emboldening the people that are saying the things that we like to hear, making sure that their platforms are amplified times 1,000, times 1,000,000, making sure that we're all connected in a way that they cannot silence us again, and making sure that they can never, ever lock us out of the economy, especially when you've seen those modern day lynch mobs going around after your boy got popped a couple months ago. They want to try to dox people and get people to lose their jobs. See, the difference, I'll tell you this, the difference, because the left will do that too, but it's because you're saying the N-word online, which is completely different than saying, hey, I'm not sad that, that happened to that guy. Like, it happened. It happens every day. It just is what it is. Like, we live in a country where that type of violence happens every day. Why am I going to single out and be upset about this one instance? The thing about it is people don't realize is they don't care until it actually affects them. So for all of the people that are actually trying to care before it affects them, you want us to care about the one dude that was out there literally, saying that he doesn't care. It is what it is, We're not going to sit there and relitigate that. We're not going to beat a dead horse. But I think what that showed us is, we got to make sure that we are fortifying ourselves in every way, shape, or form, that we are coming together in all aspects, because that's how we succeed. I think when it comes down to it, the goal is to succeed in improving material conditions for the working class people. It is a big goal, but when we break it down into small achievable steps, I think that is how that we will keep people on board and make sure that we are staying accountable, and it's palpable. I'm telling you guys, it's palpable. especially right now. It seems like a very big goal, but as fast as we're putting people together and collecting and organizing action, I think that for the first time, at least in my life, I feel real hope. And I know that it's strange because this is one of the darkest times to be in. This administration is militarized in such a way that we have never seen before, domestically, foreign. And so I know that this is a time in which we should be the most scared, but ironically, because of how we are coming together to openly resist and subversively resist, I actually feel the most hope that I've ever felt in my adult life, because I know that things will be different on the other side of this. I know that people, because look, we're big brain monkeys. I always say it. We're big brain monkeys. We do crazy things. We got bridges. We got rockets going to Mars. We learned just recently, just last night, they were talking about on an asteroid. We did the mission with that asteroid, and we found DNA. We found all the nucleotides for DNA and stuff like that. It's just absolutely crazy, So we're the big brain monkeys. I know that when the big brain monkeys come together, we can do amazing things. We can accomplish anything, and that's why I know that material conditions for the working class people will improve, because we have tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people that will come together that is substantially stronger than all the billions of dollars in the world. Because if we actively do not participate, in their billions or whatever, then all our money is worthless. Like, that's the thing about it, is it really just all takes us to collectively one day flip the switch, and all of it's worthless for them. Like, we don't have to do anything crazy. We don't have to do anything illegal. We don't have to do anything. Like, we all just have to collectively say, like, hey, look, we're not doing this anymore. You're going to feed us. You're going to house us. You're going to make sure that all of the things are provided. It's not you. We are going to make sure that all of it is provided for all of us before we allow other people to start sailing around on mega yachts and shooting rockets to Mars. Because I don't know, maybe I read too much of the Bible as a kid. Maybe it's my fault for acting up all the time, because when I was punished, I used to have to, read the Bible. So maybe it's my fault for getting in trouble too much, having to read too much of the Bible. Because I'm sick, left, radical, man. I'm just to my core, just sick, left, radical. Just want to feed, house, heal, envious, real envious of Jesus. I'm not Jesus. I'll never be Jesus. I'm not a perfect man, but every day I do try to be a little bit of a better man. And comrades, frankly, y'all inspire me to try to be that better man. My family does. Everything takes so much patience, so much effort, so much energy. But I think I found a good grounding. I think I found a good grounding in life right now. We're in a very good routine. Now there can be some improvement. I'm looking right now in my living room. It doesn't look like it. I'm in the kitchen. This is literally my kitchen. In the kitchen, because we cooking up this motherfucking propaganda. But is there room for improvement? Absolutely. I'll never say that I'm a perfect man, but what energy I do have to give to the people that I think need it, I try to give it. That's why right now I'm trying to put so much extra energy into the working class solidarity movement, because I see that it's down and out. It's beaten. It's the billionaires. They got a death grip right now, and we are in a spiral that is just, I don't know, and especially with this administration, the billionaires essentially seizing the all facets of the government, a literal billionaire, we're deregulating everything. The water's getting more poisonous. Our food's getting more poisonous. Everything is just, I don't know, man. Something about this moment right now, something in me, the fire, the flip, the light switch flipped. Our last guest, Dr. Taylor, PhD, we discussed that, in times in which it feels like people need to step up, people are stepping up. I've met so many people just in these last 12 months, man. We're in December. That's crazy. We're in December. Man, just to look back at this year, we have done so much. We have touched millions of people just this year. If I put together all my numbers, I mean, we've been averaging 2 million a month for the last quarter because we're low, 2 to 3. We was up to 5 to 6. You know, we easily did probably 50, 60 million this year just on Facebook. Just views, not money. Talking about views. Let me just clarify that, because I'm saying 50, 60 million. We're not making a lot of money. We make a couple $100 a month between all our social media platforms, but all of that money goes into the propaganda fund, that goes into improving this experience, that goes into fighting, because I have a career. I'm not living off the money yet. Eventually, I will have to make the jump, because with the amount of time and effort that this is requiring, at some point, something's going to have to shake, and a new type of business will have to be developed for me to be able to, live off of that revenue. But that's just what happens, I mean, we're literally creating a media empire in real time, and all of you are participating in it. That's why we don't need the fancy BS going on, because we got the message and we got the people. I don't have to sit here and entertain you with shiny things or anything like that, because, you're smart people. You want to be engaged in something real. And when you found that, you don't need frills or excitement or whatever, because just the sheer knowledge that you are participating in something solely designed to fight back, I think that in some way gives you a little bit of what you need in that entertainment realm. Especially because what we've seen from the data, I'm referencing the data. Let me be frank with that. I'm referencing all of our social media data from the last year. So in the 4 quarters of this year, which we're still in the midst of the last quarter, but this one, the data insights we don't necessarily need, because we clearly understand what's going on right now from this year. So we've shifted this year from a faceless page to a faced page to a strictly, solely, explicitly fighting back page. Now we're explicitly Antifa. So, just from the data, I can see that number one, I don't know if it's my face, doesn't look that great. Gets me enough, but you like the face. You like the authenticity that it brings. You like the shift in content. Now, the algorithm in Facebook and the other platforms, they don't necessarily like the shift in content, but based on the organic numbers that I'm seeing versus the AI recommendation numbers that I'm seeing, right now I'm having the highest ratios of organic conversions, which means that you're organically sharing my content, liking my content, moving my content through different platforms. So that's happening more organically. So when the Facebook algorithm or the other types of algorithms are just flooding the zone with my content, it gives me a level of engagement that is not, it's very superficial. It's just the likes, or maybe it'll be just shares or something. And yeah, those things are good, but you're not always getting follows, or you're not getting the good things, So right now we have it fine-tuned right now that we're getting good messages out. We're getting good data, so we're able to understand what messaging works, and we're able to amplify that to the wider network. And we are, we're just getting the best results that I think that we can get, especially from just starting this operation at the beginning of the year. I mean, the propaganda factory it's booming. We got the Substack with the new contributors. We're bringing on joint projects from all types of smaller creators who are putting great content out there. We're building a platform to make sure that they can uplift themselves and uplift the working class solidarity movement at the same time. We're making sure to increase all of our content creators' revenue, and work on successful tactics, because if we are all making more money, if all leftist creators are making more money, that means that the working class solidarity movement is headed in the right direction. Because, when I see people who are compassionate and empathetic make money, they want to feed people. They want to do good things. They want to put action into the community. When I see psychopaths make a lot of money, they want to do mega yachts. They want to do private jets. They want to hurt communities. So I know that us being focused right now on getting more resources into the people's hands that can do good things, I know that good things will come from that. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and cut because, hey, I'm honest with y'all. It's 9:45 in the morning my time. I'm running off two hours of sleep, maybe 2.5 hours of sleep, if that. I need to go get some more. I'm going to be back this afternoon. I'm going to go hit my counseling session, just unpack the mental breakdown I recently had. But I'm on strong footing right now. Y'all caught me. I'm on strong footing. I appreciate every one of you, comrades. I have to cook some dinner, need to make a good, sustainable meal for my family because we've been screwing around, a lot of eating out, local for the most part, but a lot of eating out, just not being as healthy as we should be. And a lot of, because of that, is my crazy work schedule, the crazy hours we're putting in. But so much of it is also because the system is designed to rip us apart. And so, I think that's why defiantly I do try to spend a little bit of extra time doing this, because I know maybe one day, if not me, maybe my children can have more time with their families. So it is what it is. Was able to drop the kids off at school. I got to go to sleep, though. I appreciate y'all. Stay safe, stay subversive. For everybody in our audio experience, thank you so much for sharing us out. Please make sure to tap into our new Reddit page, RMTC STW. So that's r/MTC STW. Make sure to tap in with the Discord. If you need the Discord link, get on Facebook, or if you go to the Reddit and say that you need the Discord, I think the Discord will be in there, or someone will get it to you. We're just making sure that we're connected everywhere. So everyone, please stay safe, stay subversive, stay hydrated, get some rest. Your CEO is signing off, but still working. Still working.